The network as a service segment, as it is emerging now, is clearly moving to a more mainstream adoption. So you could call that really a tipping point. In our case, I think the handful of up and coming vendors in the space have all taken a somewhat different approach as to how they've built their business. We've been very, very focused on a couple of areas. Number one is on enterprises, and then also on building owners, and we've tried to tie it into the way people work, because the connecting to the cloud is actually integral to how people work today. We are clearly now seeing a point where the resistance to adoption is giving way to more broad adoption by companies of all sizes, because the value that they saw 20 years ago, let's say, or 25 years ago with the emergence of the SaaS vendors, and 20 years ago with the emergence of AWS, is now clear to them with their networking solutions. And so I think a tipping point, we're just at the beginning of that tipping point. But I do believe that, and I was on a briefing this morning that suggests that there is an acceleration of anything that's happening right now of awareness and interest in embracing and adopting and deploying network as a service solutions. The customer set that's really selecting network as a solution for their deployments, and there are a bunch of different classes. Obviously, you have the areas that we don't really play in as much. Let's say in state and local education, they just don't have the internal headcount and the expertise to be able to manage it. But I would really classify both our Fortune 1000 clients as well as our midcap enterprise clients. They all fall into a couple different categories. One category says we want lights out operations of our branch offices. We don't want any of our own headcount responsible for maintaining the network in the branch office. They want it all to be just like a cloud service. And so no IT involvement, no networking team involvement, that's it. The second class is the one that's looking for a much richer experience integrating with other elements. So IoT, could be sensors, could be all sorts of other services, where their in-house expertise of their IT team simply doesn't extend to those areas. And so they're looking for partners that can come in and provide a much richer experience. What is pretty common, though, is that I think the pandemic sort of upended a lot of the way we think about the office. And again, where we focus at Join is mostly on the office. But the pandemic really upended the way people think about the office, and the fact that so many of the security solutions, for instance, that they've selected are also cloud native or cloud-based. I think it made it a logical choice for them to make the same sort of decision when they went to their networking vendor. The most successful companies in networking, frankly, in all parts of technology, have figured out how to build a partnership ecosystem that's no different for us, no different for Join. The fact is, we have built little widgets for security, little firewall widgets and so forth, that address very specific use cases. But at the same time, we have integration partnerships with Zscaler. We just announced a partnership with Cato. Actually, of our 150 odd deployments, probably a third of them are with Zscaler. We have similar relationships. We have cookbook recipes, if you will, with Palo Alto Networks and with others. And so at one level, we've got a wide variety of partnerships, even sensors. I'm just pointing at one that's sitting over on a counter here in my office. We've actually partnered with a lot of different companies to provide a richer set of solutions for our customers. At a more macro level, we formed a joint venture with a company called Obayashi. It's the largest construction company in Japan, because they saw the opportunity to deliver a complete network as a service, as a solution, as billions of square feet of real estate gets redeveloped, refurbished, et cetera. And so we believe that it's not an either or. The reality is that, yes, the network as a service is an end-to-end solution, but there are so many different ways that network as a service can be, or that cloudified LAN, as I believe Sean Morgan and Dolores referred to it, can actually be augmented with other great solutions. So we don't really view it as an island or as a single walled solution, but as a solution that really can be combined with other products, other technologies. The future of not just network as a service, but generally speaking, technology, I think, is really going to be going through some major shifts. Obviously, the rise of artificial intelligence, or we'll call it, decision support systems through artificial intelligence. I think that is obviously going to have a big impact. When I look at over the next, let's say, what is that, 5.5, 6 years, 7 years maybe, we've already seen this inexorable shift from on-prem technology that's very, very manual, needs to be managed, controlled, developed by the end user, by the customer, to the first SaaS model, to later the cloud model. What we're seeing, and Join was a very early adopter of big data. We didn't call it AI, we called it big data, but we were already very early on embracing big data to help us offload our teams so that we weren't having to send hundreds of people out on, to take care of our deployments, to do installations, to make changes for customers as they came about. We use data from the beginning to understand, to actually to monitor behavior and to adapt what our deployments, what the networks that are in service, in deployment, what they were doing, and to make sure that they were meeting the needs that our customers had. So I think that there has already been a shift. I mean, people don't talk about going and buying servers anymore. Sure, there's still Dell EMC, sure, there's NetApp, but the reality is the rise of cloud-native technology solutions, I think, is inexorable. It's not going to go away. Is it going to represent 100% of the market? No. But you have a $1.5 or $1.75 trillion overall IT annual spend. I think the space that we're in is, call it $150, $160 billion a year. Will I be disappointed if my competitors and I are only able to convert a third of that to network as a service? Absolutely not. A $50 billion market for us is more than enough to build some enduring and very, very innovative companies. And I think that's really what companies like Join are going to be doing over the next several years.
Welcome to 2030, where network as a service has revolutionized the way we do business. With NaaS, businesses can scale their network on demand, ensuring they always have the speed and capacity needed without hefty upfront costs. Gone are the days of managing cumbersome and disjointed network hardware. Everything is built to work together and transparently managed behind the scenes. From retail to manufacturing, businesses enjoy enhanced connectivity that allows them to serve customers faster and innovate continuously. Scaling has never been easier, leading to higher productivity and cost efficiency. With built-in advanced security features, automatic updates, and AI management, network as a service is the backbone of business operations. Which networking companies led the transition? What's common in their success strategies? Join our 2024 NaaS showcases and download our reports.